Hello and welcome back to Yarn Tea and Books. My name is Tasha, and along with my husband, we are the dyers and owners behind Frogget Yarns Hand-Dyed Yarns and Mobile Yarn Truck. Welcome back if you're a returning viewer, and welcome if you are a new viewer. We're happy to have you here. This is just a space where I pop in every week, chat about what I'm making, what I've finished sometimes, what's going on with the shop, and what I'm reading. So everyone is welcome, and I encourage you to chat in the comments about what you're reading, what you're making. It's always a great place to connect with you all. But we're back for a new week. It is a gloriously dark, rainy, chilly day here. The perfect day for the end of October. Today is Thursday, October 30th. It is Halloween Eve. And yeah, I'm ready to celebrate Halloween tomorrow. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. But let's start with mug watch. And I do have a Halloween mug. I've got these Batty frogs. This is by Seasoned Pottery, and I could not resist these cute little frogs with wings. So, Seasoned Pottery, I got this a couple of weeks ago, actually maybe a month or so ago, and it's the perfect mug for today. So, that's what I have. I'm drinking my regular chai blend today. It is my second cup. It is a cold, rainy day, so it calls for many, many cups of tea. So let's get right in to FOs because I've been busy. This is the last time I'm going to show this because you've all seen it, but the buttons are on, and I've shown it to daughter and son-in-law and they love it. But the tiny baby cardigan has the buttons. I did use all of those pretty pale blue buttons, and it is done, and it's going to stay here at the house until they have unpacked. They just moved into their new house this week, and so they're in the middle of unpacking everything. And so once they've settled down with that, I'll send along all the baby stuff. But until then, she's asked me to keep it. I also finished the other, I don't have it stuffed anymore, the other booty. So she asked me, oh, let me just say, this is the striped baby cardigan by Florence Merlin. I'll have the information down below in the box. These are baby Uggs by Autumn Knits, Autumn Street. It'll be here on the screen. I can't remember, but I finished both of them. I had one done the last time we talked, and they are blocked and dry, and so they'll stuff them so that they can hold them in their hand. But these are the baby Uggs that they wanted me to make for their maternity photo shoot. And the last thing that I have done is my November Granny Square. So you'll get a sneak peek at the November color, which I will show again in shop news. But my Granny Square is done. So it was very purple with pops of bright orange. We have an orange mini color, and then my winter white trim color. So there she is, all done. I love the way this came out. There is our book charm by the wonderful Kelsey. So cute. But that is Dream Slinger. My November Square is done. I'm going to take some time in the next, I don't know, probably not the next week. We still have show prep to do, but I need to seam together a bunch of these, add this to it, and then I only have one more square. So yeah, we're good to go. So that is it for finished objects. Yeah, it's been busy. That's all I finished not a lot of knitting time. So that'll take us to whips. For whips, I have pulled out my Douglas Cardi. It's actually in a good spot to show you because front panel is done on both sides, left and right. Back is all done. Shoulders have been seamed. And the underarm, you do a little bit of casting on of extra stitches. And then before you start the sleeves, you seam that bit together. And that starts your sleeve. It gives you another inch and a half of your sleeve before you start, because it's like a drop shoulder. So this is the Douglas Cardi by Andrea Mowry. And the fit is great. I haven't tried it on really. It gets a neckband yet, so it's not going to sit right, but there it is. The sleeve already is down to here, and that's kind of still rolled. So I just have to pick up, finish the sleeves, and then the button band is knit separately. So it's just a little strip that you knit, and when you get to it where you think you're done, you start attaching it, and then you can adjust it on the other side to be shorter or longer and attach it. It's really a great method because you're not picking up all of the stitches around and, you know, classic, oh, I've picked up too many, or oh, I've picked up not enough, and then you have to start all over. So this is, you just knit it separately, and then you attach it down to like the last 2 inches, and then you adjust. Either you have to knit a little more or pull some out and add it as you go, and it's really nice. So that's my Douglas Cardi. She's ready for sleeves. That's really been the bulk of my knitting this week. We are so busy with Advents that there hasn't been a lot of free time. That is living in my Frogs Under Quilts bag. This is a bag by Squirrel Fibers. Love this bag. So that's whip number 1. Sorry about that. Something spooked the dogs. Whip number 2 is living in my fall bag by Twisted Yarn and Fibers. And this is my Almu shawl. And I have put in a tiny bit. So I moved the stitch marker after last week's podcast. So here's where we were when I showed you last week. I've literally only done the eyelet row and the rest of this brown color, and I'm ready to do my middle color. So after, in between every big section, I do 4 rows of this contrast color. So that's all that's been done on that. Yeah. Literally not much has been done. And then the last thing I wanted to pull out was, I talked last week about my quill shawl and how now that our daughter is expecting, I think I'm going to turn it in to an heirloom baby blanket and just gift it to them. So this is all of the border that I have done. So started here, I'm only to here. Like literally, I think it's 3 repeats of the border. So I'm pretty convinced that I'm gonna rip this back out, reclaim these bound off stitches, and just do a crochet border, because I still have all of this that I would have to go back and forth, and every other row you bind off a stitch. And I have to follow the chart. I don't have the chart memorized. And while it's beautiful, I just don't want to do it. So I'm going to rip that back out. There's like over 600 stitches on these needles right here. Like this is a huge square shawl. So these are all scrunched up. And yeah, I have to have my iPad out and I have to follow every single row. It's not something that I have memorized, and it's just very tedious and time consuming. So that's my plan. I'm going to rip out that little bit of border because it's not much. And I'm just gonna crochet. I'm gonna go through and pick off every stitch from my needles. I'll just do an entire round of single crochet, and then they'll all be basically bound off. And then I will look for a crochet border that then I can add on, and it'll go a lot faster. So that is the quill shawl by, I think it's by Jared Flood. I don't even remember anymore. Yes, by Jared Flood. There's the original picture. So I am using yarn by Bare Naked Wools. I think it is their like breakfast fingering. I thought I had the tags, but I don't seem to have any tags in this bag. Like that's terrible knitter etiquette, honestly. There's no tags in here. I know it's Bare Naked Wools. I'm pretty sure it's their breakfast fingering. I bought 3 skeins of it. Yeah, 3 skeins of it. So I think I have plenty to go around, and you know, I'll go around as many times as I can until it looks like I'm not going to be able to go around. It's really soft. I just think it's like a Cardi wool, maybe. I don't know. It's really nice. But that's my quill shawl. Yeah, that's high on the priority list to get done. And I want to do that before I cast on anything else. And I did finally remember where it was. And this is living in a Hohe & Co bag. This was early days. This was like a canvas. This is not a leather one. This was early days when they were still doing quite a few canvas style bags. And that's it for whips. And the shawl doesn't even actually count as a whip because I haven't done a single stitch on it. But I've pulled it out so that it's there to remind me, and I can look through my books. I think I have a book of crochet edgings, borders that I'm going to look through. But that will take us to shop news. So for shop news, Halloween is over. So if you're watching this on Saturday, the day it comes out, the Halloween colors are, I don't want to say gone. I have adjusted them on the website so that whatever I have left is all that's available. I will not be dyeing anymore. So I'll leave them on the website because there's always that one person who like forgot for an entire month. But whatever the bases that I have currently dyed and in stock is all that's on the website. I will not be dyeing anymore to fill in. We are moving on to Christmas. So if you are watching this on Saturday, November 1st, the Christmas collection is live. We will have 2 main colors for Christmas this year. One of them is All Booked for Christmas. And this is traditional Christmas colors with a little bit of a vintage vibe. So your reds and your greens with just a little bit of that warm tan thrown in just to warm it up. And this is on our merino fingering base. Remember, it will be brighter on something with no nylon. So this has nylon in. And then our other color is North Pole Book Club. And this is just a fun twist on traditional Christmas. So pinks and greens and blues versus reds and greens. So here it is on merino fingering with a nice bright pink pop. And here it is on DK. So much brighter on the DK because there's no nylon in our main skeins of DK. So those are live now. You can get them only as sets. So with a mini and only on fingering and DK. That's just, we have found that is the easiest way to do it. When we run a special color, I'd say for every 30 orders we get, one person is going to order it on worsted or sport or something else. And I have to dye a whole batch. So I'm going with what sells the most. And that's the way I'm going to do it. There is going to be one more Christmas color that will not be out until December 1st, because that is part of a special collab that we're doing with Kelsey. And I'll talk about that in a little bit. But those are the two Christmas colors that are live now. You can order them to your heart's content. And we hope that you love them. We stuck with the book theme. And I really love the way they came out. I love the pink. I will say at our last festival, which was Frederick Fiber Fest, this sold out and this did not. But, you know, I feel like there's only so much you can do with red and green every single year before it starts to just look like you're repeating colors. And I hate that. Yes, I could pick, you know, red and green every single year and apply it in a different method, but it's all going to start looking the same. So I always like to put a fun twist on it, but the twist never sells. People always say, oh, I wish someone offered something more than just red and green for Christmas. But then when you do that, that's not what sells. But anyway, Christmas is live now. These two colors. We'll talk about the third color in a little bit. Also, November Lily Pad Club is closed. So if you missed out, you had 2 weeks. If you missed out, you can contact the 3 shops that get club. I always link them below when I'm talking about club. They all get limited quantities of certain bases. They don't all get the same and they don't all get a lot. So if you missed out or you got your club and you want more, those are the places to check. As of today of recording, all of the retail club orders have been sent. Now, as of today, people still have until tomorrow to pre-order, but just know you're going to be spoiled because I release the color to social media on Saturday, on the 1st, always. So here's our book. We are reading in November, Dream Slinger by Gracie Kim. It's a fun middle grade book. This was our color palette inspo. It always looks different than the book, but my printer can only do so much. And here is the color. So this is it on our merino DK, so no nylon. You get lots of purples, a little bit of blue, and those fun pops of orange. Here it is on fingering. It's gonna get blown out. Yeah, that's better. So slightly different on the fingering versus the DK. So fingering, DK. And then we did a fun pop of orange for the mini. So love this. I love the way that it came out. Here's the fingering mini. And I'm very happy with this. I love the way that it looks. Yeah, absolutely love it. So that's November. The Discord thread is up. By the time you're seeing this, I plan to do that today. And let's read the book. Let's chat about it. It's a fun middle grade fantasy. It gets rave reviews on the back. And I'm excited to read it. I love a good middle grade book. So that's all of that. Our last show is coming up. Our last show for 2025 is the Maryland Alpaca Fleece and Fiber Festival. I think it's Festival, Fleece and Fiber Show. I don't know. Maryland Alpaca Fleece and Fiber Festival. It is held at the Howard County Fairgrounds in West Friendship, Maryland. It's the same fairgrounds where they hold the big Maryland Sheep and Wool in the spring. That is November 8th and 9th, so next weekend. I think both days are 9 to 4, 10 to 4. I'll correct it on screen. I'll check before I edit. And then that's it. We are off the road until April of 2026. So it'll be a nice break. Not that we won't have work to do, but we just won't have travel to do, which is exciting. We'll have hopefully an entire month to spend with our new grandson before we have to hit the road, because he's due at the end of March. So gonna just enjoy it. The planning never stops. We'll be planning lots of things for 2026. There's already things planned and in the works, but we have to get ahead of things. And usually after all of the holidays, at the beginning of the new year, is when we start brainstorming advents for next year and, special things that we want to do. So a lot of behind the scenes work happens while we're off the road, which is fine, keeps us busy, but we do get that much needed break of not having to travel, not having to, constantly stock the trailer. We just get to settle in and enjoy time off the road. So let's talk about this book box. So this is all Kelsey's fault. If you didn't watch last week, we were chatting and she asked me if we wanted charms for our Christmas book box, because she saw the posts for our Christmas colors. And I said, Kelsey, we don't have a Christmas book box. And she's like, oh, okay, I misunderstood the post. And I was like, well, now I want a Christmas book box. So we started chatting about, okay, what could you do? What can I do to have it ready by the 1st of December? So think of this as like your Christmas Eve cast on, your Christmas Day cast on. A lot of people like to have a special project that they cast on over the holidays, or maybe you didn't get an Advent, or an Advent's out of your budget, but this is still a Christmas themed box that you could treat yourself to. So I started looking for books. Originally, I tried to find a Frog and Toad book, like a Christmas Frog and Toad book. I couldn't find one. So this book that I'm going to show you is what popped up in my list of, Christmas themed books. So the book that we chose is The Christmas Bookshop by Jenny Colgan. And she writes a lot of books. I have her other one called Close Knit. They all take place in Scotland. This one is centered in Edinburgh in a bookshop. So I'm excited to read this. It sounds like a really nice, cozy holiday read. So Kelsey and I are collaborating on this box. She's going to design an exclusive special charm. And if you saw the Frog and Toad charm that she designed for our Frog and Toad box back in the summer, I can only imagine the level of detail that's going to go into this charm, because we've chatted about things and what she wants to do, and it's going to be a lot of detail. So the box will contain yarn, which is dyed and developed. It took 7 tries, but it's developed. It will contain yarn. It will contain Kelsey's exclusive charm. It will contain a copy of the book, a physical copy of the book, and then a few little goodies sprinkled in. The book boxes will not go on sale until December 1st, because Kelsey needs time to make the charms. So she's going to make the charms. She'll send them to me probably when she sends the December club charms. And then the boxes will all be ready to go. They're all going to be, just like Frog and Toad, they're all going to be fingering weight. because I cannot predict what everyone's going to want. So all the yarn is going to be dyed. All of the boxes are going to be packed and ready to ship. All we have to do when you place your orders is slap a label on it and get it out to you, so you have it at the beginning of December, within the first, 10 days or so, depending on how they sell. They'll be ready to ship. There will not be any kind of pre-order. There will only be 20 boxes. I'm not a bookseller, so I could only buy 20 copies of this book. That's all I was allowed to buy. So there will only be 20 boxes. I won't reveal the yarn just yet. I'll reveal that, in a future episode. And as soon as I have a picture of the charm and we've nailed that down, I'll share that with you as well. So you're going to get it in little bits and pieces, little teasers. We don't have a final price yet, but I'm thinking it should be $75 or less. So December 1st, there will be more details to come. It's just a fun little last minute collab that Kelsey and I, want to do together. I think she thoroughly enjoys creating these books. The charm right now sounds like it will be a book, if she can get the detail on it that she wants. If not, it'll be slightly different, but she wants to put it on a book since it's a book box. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But anyway, that's a little more teaser about the Christmas book box. Just, yeah, something fun that we wanted to throw together. That last minute chance that if you couldn't get an Advent or you couldn't afford an Advent because they are expensive, maybe this is more in your budget and you can still get that fun holiday treat. I just saw, I forgot to show you an FO, or kind of an FO. I finished the first bobbin of my spin. This is Cormo roving from a bunch of Cormo fleeces that I had bought at various festivals that I finally sent to the mill to have processed. And I started spinning up this beautiful pink and gray that I dyed. So forgot to share that. That's everything yarn and shop news related. So that'll take us to book chat. I finished nothing. It has just been a crazy, crazy week trying to get the Advents all packaged in their individual bags. And Mr. Froggy is actually downstairs right now starting to put all of those into the shipping boxes. So it's all hands on deck. And by that, I mean the both of us. And yeah, it's just been a busy week. Every single day has just been tag the minis, package the weeklies, like just everything. Actually, weeklies and the 12-day Advents have all gone in the mail. There are 2 weeklies left to send, but those people also got daily Advents, so they get sent together. And then as soon as I see all of the tracking that they've been delivered, extras will go on sale. That should have been in shop news. I'll talk more about it when I have a date. Anyway, because of that, I've not gotten anything read. I just, when we're working together, I don't turn on my audiobooks because it's rude. We're talking, we're chatting. So I've not been able to really read a whole heck of a lot. But I am still reading Uncharmed. I think I'm up to chapter 7 or 8. I didn't get far. This is by Lucy Jane Wood. This is just a fun October witchy read. And I'm enjoying it. I love it a lot. I'm also reading Anathema by Carrie Lake. This one I am listening to, and I don't even know how far I am. I'm over 100 pages now. So this is a fun, like, gothic read. So again, perfect for October. I just haven't had a lot of reading time. My upcoming read that I'm going to read tomorrow, actually, on Halloween. So Halloween was my Gram's birthday. She loved that her birthday was on Halloween. She always dressed up as a witch. She had the perfect witch's cackle, laugh, loved it. And so my grandma and I were very close. So every year on her birthday, I like to do something special. And I think I got my love of reading for her. My grandma always had a book in her hands. And this year I've decided that I'm going to read Garlic and the Vampire by Bree Paulson. This is a graphic novel. So this is, you know, sit down with a cup of tea. It probably won't even take an hour to read it because it's a lot of pictures. But this is how I want to celebrate Graham's birthday tomorrow. I'm going to take an hour to myself and I'm going to read Garlic and the Vampire. I've been wanting to read this for a while, but I was never able to find a copy. So I finally got a copy, and that's how I'm going to celebrate Halloween and Graham's birthday. I'm going to enjoy a cup of tea. I'm going to read Garlic and the Vampire and just quietly celebrate Graham's birthday. I loved that her birthday was on Halloween. I have two pickups, two new books. I picked up the newest K.A. Lindy book, The Captive and the First Blood Game. This is the follow-up to The Monster and the Last Blood Match. I don't know. I showed it a while ago, but I picked up this pretty copy. K.A. Lindy is an auto-buy author for me. She wrote the Wren in the Holly Library, the Robin on the Oak Throne. Absolutely love those. So I knew that I was going to pick that up. And yesterday I got my copy of Never Ever After by Sue Lynn Tan. This is a dark Cinderella retelling, but I wanted the exclusive first run, like, special edition because, you guys, this artwork, look at this. This book is stunning. Look at this. And then we've got magical end papers. Look at these. Oh, this showed up yesterday. I'm so excited to read this, and it's a beautiful addition to boot. It's going to look so good on my bookshelves. And that is it. That is it for this week. Like I said, there hasn't been much going on just because we are just heads down, all in. I want these Advents out of my house. I want them off of my to-do list. Yeah, so if you're still waiting on your shipping notice, you actually by today, by Saturday, you should have that, because my goal is to have them packed and mailed between today and tomorrow for me, which is Thursday and Friday. I just want them done, because the sooner they get out of here and get delivered, the sooner I can put the extras on sale. I will announce extras on all of our socials. I'll send out a special newsletter if I need to. I'll announce it on here if it doesn't happen before next week. There are not many, and I know there's a lot of new followers both here and on socials. There are not many. These were a pre-order back in April. I left the pre-orders open until June. And then at some point, you just have to cut it off because you have to get them dyed. So there are not many. Currently, there are 2 12-day, which was Charlie Brown, and 2 weekly, which is the Dream Harbor series, as extras so far. I have not counted the 24-day, which is inspired by Fourth Wing. I have not counted those yet to see how many extras are left. So, like I said, I'll announce it everywhere that I can. But that's it. That's it for me this week. Let me know if you're excited about the Christmas book box. like I said, more details will come as things get finalized. And let me know what you're working on this week. Always love to hear it. What are you reading this week? Are you reading anything spooky for Halloween, fun for Halloween? Do you do anything special for Halloween? We don't have little kids, so we don't do anything. I'm going to read Garlic and the Vampire for my gram and just enjoy some quiet time knowing that Advents are done. So yeah, that's it. Maybe we'll see some of you next weekend at the show. It's our last in-person event. So that'll be that. If you made it the whole way to the end, leave me your favorite Halloween emoji. Whatever that may be, whatever you might have on your keyboard. Any Halloween emoji to let me know you made it the whole way to the end. And that'll be it. I will see you next week right back here. Same time, same place. Please remember to take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Please be kind. And until then, happy making. Bye.